Regarding Islam and its approach to an understanding of evolution, this is something which is debated and discussed amongst Muslim scholars. And most Muslim scholars who have looked into this will say that Islam doesn't have a particular perspective regarding evolution. The only thing that it does insist upon is that God did create a human being and his wife miraculously.
Do you believe in Adam and Eve, the Adam and Eve story for the creation of man?
It's yes and no. What I mean by that,
you do or you don't?
No, what I mean by that is that it's not the biblical account. Because the biblical account has them living about 6,000, 7,000 years ago. Human species has only been around for a very short period of time. Islam doesn't give it a fixed age regarding the age of the universe or the age of mankind. So this is very open within Islam. And so that's why Islam doesn't have any strict scientific assertions regarding these things. So the only thing that it does say is that God describes that he has created Adam and his wife miraculously. How that happened, in what sequence of events, was it prefigured by life forms?
How do you know that the original members of our species were Adam and Eve? How do we know that?
Well, we know this from Revelation, and I don't think from Revelation, because this is something that God has informed us about, and it's not something which is contradicted by science.
To inform us about?
He informs us by communicating via human messengers called prophets, which is done throughout human history, and in order to verify that these people are genuine people from God who are bringing God's message as opposed to just something from their own conscious or subconscious minds, he sends miracles with them in order to prove that they are really a messenger from God.
Have you ever seen a miracle? A provable miracle?
Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. These are signs and miracles.
No, that's something else. So Islam has a very kind of detailed theology actually regarding this. So miracles. When I said miracle, I was talking about a miracle which is given to a prophet. Yeah, other people in their personal lives may experience miraculous happens.
Is something which counteracts the natural order.
I understand.
You were saying everything was ordered. It's not chaos, it's ordered.
In
if
terms
you
of
have a miracle,
creation, yes.
then it involves a certain degree of chaos.
A miracle is God deliberately violating the natural laws in order to show somebody that something unusual is happening. Yeah, and so this is why I
don't believe there is evidence of anything that disobeys a natural law. There are laws which we don't know everything about.
Sure.
What I'm saying is that, as I was saying to your colleague, science says that we know nothing, but we will do our best to try and hypothesize and understand things.
We don't have an issue. We agree with that. In Islam, we're encouraged to be curious and to investigate. So you don't believe in God, I'm assuming?
No,
I think God is everything. If there is, I think God is the whole of creation. Everything. We are part of it.
So you don't believe that? How did the universe come into existence?
Don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. We don't understand what time is. Can you tell me what time is?
We had this conversation. I was explaining the whole thing.
The nearest I've come to it is that time is a universal solvent. We all get precipitated. That's in saturated solution. And when something is precipitated out of it, then something else is redissolved.
Do you believe that?
So it's a constant flux of coming into and going out of existence.
But do you believe that the universe at one point in time did not exist and then thereafter existed?
I think that's a meaningless statement because we don't understand what time is.
Okay, so we can trace scientifically, back, following the Big Bang to
if there was a Big Bang. I mean, that's just a theory.
Okay, assuming the Big
and the theory means it's just another thing which people have postulated to try and help them understand.
Sure, I understand. If we was to assume, given that this is like the dominant scientific theory, which is largely accepted in the scientific community, if we was to assume the truth of the Big Bang, and then we trace the Big Bang back to this infinitely dense, hot matter, which then the whole of creation and the universe sprung from. Prior to that infinitely dense matter, what existed?
No idea.
Okay.
Because it's an impossible thing for our brains to cope with.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you say though that our general life experiences, we don't see things miraculously coming into existence from nothing, but rather we see things coming into existence based upon causes and effects, and then it finishes and then it ends. So we see everything in this universe as something which is contingent, it's changing, it's constantly in a state of flux.
What I say is we don't understand. Why should we?
Yeah,
We're simple creatures.
we're simple creatures, but
We've got a little bit more reasoning power than you say if we were a cat or a chimpanzee.
well, I think we've got quite a lot more. I think we've got quite a lot more reasoning
We've also
power.
got the advantage that we have an opposable thumb and we can use tools. I mean, there are other creatures that use tools, but they haven't got the need to be. If we didn't have the ability to use tools,
Yeah,
we'd be dead meat.
for sure.
That would be surprised.
Could I explain?
We've evolved that meat. That's why we've existed. We've evolved as a separate species.
For sure.
We've evolved this method of protecting us from being eaten by lions and all the other ravening beasts.
Why would you do you acknowledge though that most people?
Same old man, same old.
Go on.
Let me explain how I look at it as a believer. Yeah, because I've always been a believer in God. Yeah, and so for me, when I look at the universe, yeah, I look and I remember being like an 11-year-old in class in my school, looking at the clouds going past in the sky and thinking to myself, well, it's very beautiful, but who made the clouds move? And then it'd be like, well, okay, I can explain, and then I can.
No one makes the clouds move. They do move because the atmosphere is constantly in turmoil.
I know, but then I was looking back. I understand. And so I thought to myself, well, I can explain it scientifically, like how you're going to do, you know.
Well, we can.
But then it was like, but then my question was, but what caused that chain of scientific effect, causes and effects? And then let's take it back again. What caused that chain? And what caused that chain? And what caused that chain? And then what I found was that there was a
brain is not big enough to contain.
Well, no, I think our brain is, because I think that what I saw was that there was just otherwise there would just be an infinite series of contingent causes and effects and events, which doesn't actually give you an answer.
No, it doesn't. There is no such thing as an answer.
Well, no, there is an answer because
there are just more questions.
No, you can get an answer because if you accept that everything in the universe is just a series of contingent causes and effects, then the answer is that there's a necessary being who doesn't require cause and effect, who's not dependent upon cause and effect, who brings this contingent universe into existence.
Unless you assume what I just said, the best thing to assume is that everything is, we are all part of one enormous entity. We are just a tiny fraction of it, a bundle of molecules.
We're all part of the contingent universe. We're all part of time, space, matter, energy. Yes, but there's something beyond this contingent universe. There's a necessary being that created a contingent universe.
I'll say one thing. All holy books have one thing in common.
Yeah.
And that is that no one's exactly sure when they were written. No one's exactly sure who wrote.
That's not correct with the Qur'an. We know who brought the Qur'an, and we know the period of time in which the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lived.
Roughly, but not exactly.
We know.
You don't know exactly because Muhammad was, by all reports, illiterate. But someone must have written it down for.
Well, this is why he had scribes who wrote down the Qur'an for him.
So he was invented.
Sorry.
So he was invented.
He is claiming, for sure, you can say, he is claiming to receive revelation from God. Yeah, verbatim revelation from God, which he then repeated to his companions, which they memorized and they wrote down. Now, you can say that either it's true, he did get it from God. You can say that he is an imposter, a mischievous person who is deliberately manipulating people in order to achieve certain goals. Or you could say it's coming.
There was a group of people that found it politically beneficial to invent this person who an origin for what they
No, he existed. There's no doubt that he existed, and there's
But if you say
and there's no doubt that the Quran traces back to him either.
well, that's disputed. I don't see how you can possibly prove that. But I would say Christians will say exactly the same thing about the gospel.
Well, no, they wouldn't know, because the Gospels, they were written between 40 to 65 years after Jesus left this earth, and they are biographies of Jesus. And so the claim of Islam is very different from the claim of Christianity. The claim of Islam is that the Qur'an itself is the preserved teachings going back to the Prophet Muhammad, and that these teachings are from God himself. So we can prove that the Quran goes back to the Prophet Muhammad. This is well accepted in modern academia. Thereafterwards, we have to come to the discussion or an investigation. Is it likely that the Quran, what's most likely scenario thereafterwards? Is it more likely that it was from God, or that it was from his conscious or unconscious imagination?
If the human species has been on the earth for hundreds of thousands of years, in roughly its present form, although it has diversified into many races, then why over 1,500 years ago should God suddenly decide to reveal himself?
Well,
why didn't he reveal himself when the species started?
Well, that's from the Muslim perspective. That is the Islamic perspective, that he has always revealed himself via human prophets for the whole of humanity. And so it's,
all right. What about Joseph Smith? The Mormons say that he is the last prophet. And
we would have to investigate the claims.
They're as sure that they're right as you are.
They may be sure, but we would have to look at the evidence for their claims. So the evidence,
And I look at I haven't looked at the evidence for your claims. But I haven't looked for the evidence of Joseph Smith's claims.
So
you could go on and you could never be 100% sure.
You may not be one.
You can't actually be there. There are so many ifs and buts about what actually happened. You can never be sure of what actually happened.
I think that's
what was actually uttered.
I don't think that's the case with regards to Islam. Why? Because Islam was lived in the full light of history. The Prophet Muhammad had thousands of companions, and it wasn't a persecuted sect like early Christianity was. And so Islam became a state religion from its very beginning. Its teachings were preserved. We have first century manuscripts which show that the Quran we have today is the Quran which was revealed at the time of the Prophet Muhammad.
Key for the back. Anyway, look, it's been nice talking to you.
No problem. What's your name, sir?
Robert.
Robert.
What's your name?
Anas. Anas. Anas, A-N-A-S.
Sounds like a Middle Eastern name.
Yeah, it is. Is it
an assumed name?
It's an assumed name. He was one of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad. After I became Muslim, my birth certificate says Jensen. Jensen. Yeah.
Is that a surname or?
No, it's the first name. Surname is Silwood. Yes. They put those on there. I'm coming now. Anyway, Robert is. Very nice.
No,
I really enjoy. I really enjoyed speaking to you. I like to engage with people. You seem like an educated man, and
I'm not educated. Although I have had the ability. I have had. I've been lucky, to put it this way. I've had opportunity to read books.
Good. Please pass by, and we're here every week on Saturday from 12 to 3. I'd love to continue our conversation.
Oh yeah, okay. Look,
okay.
Yeah. And this is the only way if you're going to get over this the rivalry between religions.
Yeah.
I mean, the good people, good Christians and good Muslims. I was brought up in the Church of England, and when I was confirmed at the age of 12, one of the principles, the main thing which they said, the most important thing is treat other people as you would be treated yourself.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's what I say. Why?
Yes.
And if you do that, then what is all this business about the book says this and the book says that? What is that all about? It's not necessary.
For sure.
So that's why.
I think you can be passionate in the truth, about the truth, as well as having respect for your fellow human being and treating them in the best way possible. So I believe, I'm convinced that Islam is true, but at the same time, I can still treat you with respect and with compassion and with concern for you, and then listen to your point of view, and we can engage and discuss and try to convince each other of our perspectives.
Okay. Okay, Hassan.
Anas.
Yes.
Very nice to you. We look forward to resuming our conversation. Take care.
See ya.